The world has been awaiting this conversation that's about to take place right here. As an incredible group of dumbasses gets a chance to chat with a man who shut down the internet after a statement after scoring an end zone, scoring a touchdown on a run in an end zone in Chicago, then telling Chicago that he owns them. Ladies and gentlemen, Green Bay Packer quarterback, founder of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club, current MVP, number 12 for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. What's up?
Yeah!
What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Age. You still wearing that same shirt, Age, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Hey, it was his 95th
shirt.
birthday. You know, it was his 95th birthday yesterday, but have some respect for some of the legends.
All right, happy birthday, Chuck Berry. Obviously, Chuck Berry, incredible at music, and AJ doesn't know anything about any of that. He only knows about his home video collection. Aaron, it is fantastic seeing you here today. How's the body feel? How is life? How are you with Week 7 on the horizon here?
Yeah, body feels great. Tuesdays is a special day for me. I get to squat in the morning, and not even on my home gym. I get to squat at the facility, and then I got a massage, and then I get to talk to you guys. So it's a nice little Tuesday, I'd say.
Well, people forget about your legs. I think that is potentially why you had to remind some folks there that we are still squatting around here. And this past week, you looked quick. I tweeted earlier in the game that you looked faster than Tyreek Hill. You started out to the right there. Then you had a quarterback sneak where it looked like you enjoyed being in the middle of the pile and kind of mixing it up. And then obviously that touchdown where you scamper in, get pushed late as you're going in there. Incredibly athletic. Roll to the knee to the biggest belt we have ever seen. Welcome back, by the way. And I don't know if that was in response to Quinn doing the belt or not. But then you stand up and you state something to a crowd of people in Chicago that'll be talked about forever. You have said that you saw one lady flipping you off. You blacked out and went banana lands and said one of the greatest, most epic quotes of all time. Pictures have shown that it wasn't just a lady, by the way. It seemed like all of Chicago was flipping you off. Was that something that just happened spur of the moment? Do you believe that you own Chicago, Aaron Rodgers? Is that the case?
It was definitely spur of the moment, and I am proud of my runs. You know, there's been some local media folks in Green Bay who've talked ad nauseum about my decreasing ability to kind of get out of the pocket and make things happen. So to have an explosive run on the first possession, to have a sneak, which, that was really for my teammates, because especially David Bakhtiari, the biggest troll in the facility now that Corey Linsley's not there anymore, he loves to tell me what an awful quarterback sneak guy I am. I mean, it's one of his favorite things to do. So to be able to pull that one out and to be able to get the old pump fake working to get in the end zone was pretty special. Now, when I got in the end zone, and I watched it back, and I don't think Eddie really hit me. I mean, it was very close to the goal line, so I don't think there was a malicious hit from Eddie Jackson there. But I've done that a few times, kind of maybe eased up a little bit too early on the sidelines. Julius Peppers, my old teammate, rocked me in 2008 against Carolina on the sidelines. That's when I thought I'd learned my lesson. Obviously not, but Eddie didn't hit me as hard as he could have. But when I got down to my knee and I looked up, all I could see and hear was obscenities. And I don't know, just spur of the moment hit my mind. I talked about, the blacking out idea. The blacking out is just things happen that are they're not planned. I didn't plan on telling the crowd that I own them. I think based on the statistical reference of my career win percentage down there and against them, definitely our teams have done some good things. I know I used I a few times, but I do feel like it's a we thing. Okay. Really, since Favre took over, we've flipped that entire series on its head. I think when Favre took over, we were double digits in the hole in the all-time series. The series has been going on for 100 years plus, and now we're 7 up. So it feels good to be on this side of it, and that was a special moment looking back. I didn't realize how crazy it would go, and teammates chiming in from MVS to my buddy Kurt. Ben Kurt is in our room, our third-string quarterback, to just about everybody. I loved the response of my teammates backing me up. The belt was not a response to Robert Quinn. I actually didn't even see him do it. And like I said, after the game, I like Robert a lot. I think he's a good human, and I played against him a number of times on a couple different teams, and so he's not somebody that I would have a problem with doing the belt. But that was definitely spur of the moment, and it was fun. I don't regret it at all.
How quickly did you learn after you offended Zito and the rest of all of the people in Chicago? Did you learn that, hey, this is a thing? Like, did you get to the sidelines and a couple minutes later, Big Tom and some PR people were like, hey, you're going to have to answer some questions about this one?
Tom Fanning told me about it after the game. A lot of times, I mean, it's not a rare thing to happen. There's always trash talk between fans and players. I mean, I've heard some of the most ridiculous things and craziest combination of words and slurs and insults over the years on the road, and there's back and forth from time to time. It's rare that it gets picked up the way it did on Sunday. So it's not like that was something that never happened. There's always conversation between players and fans, and most opposing fans are like the Chicago fans. There's not the happiest and friendliest of back and forths. But I found out about it after the game, and I realized that it was probably going to be a thing. Not maybe as big a thing as it went to, with, some of the things that I saw. But that is the state of our media. And let me just, and really our culture, not just media, but that's the state of our culture, I think, this woke PC culture. And if I may just, elaborate just slightly on my feelings on this, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. This is awesome.
I think that in general, my feelings are this. There's a PC woke culture that exists, and there's a cancel culture at the same time. And it's based on people's own feelings of maybe personal miserability or distaste for their own situations or life, or just the enjoyment of holding other people down underneath their thumb. But when you engage in this culture, you're immersed in it, and you're in it so much. And for me, when I took time in the off season to work on myself and to work on my mental status and to get myself in the right frame of mind, I was being selfish, right? That's what, or non-responsive and selfish and entitled. When I, came back and said what I said, what I felt like was at the right time, and spoke the truth, the same sentiments were shared. Maybe not by as many people, because I think a lot of people respected what I said, but the same sentiments were shared. When these ridiculous sentiments and storylines and narratives get drawn on about me, pick a topic, from my family to my leadership style to and they just go on, and people start thinking, well, he hasn't responded to it, so it must be true, right? And they run with these stories, right? But then when I respond to it and set the record straight, when I finally said, okay, enough is enough, this thing has gotten so far and it's so ridiculous at this point, then I'm being sensitive. When week one, I have been there, unfortunately, before in a few dud games, and people think I don't have enough passion, I don't care about what's going on, then I'm passionless, I'm not all in. When I make a statement after a touchdown run and puts up 2 scores, now I'm not a sportsman. Now I'm making this shit about me. This is the thing that goes on, and ultimately, Pat, there's a game within the game, right? And in this game, there's a player and there's a game. And if the player abides by the rules of the game, he's a part of the game. Now, the rules of the game are that you must acquiesce with the woke mob at all times. You must. However, when you live above the game does not exist. And Pat, that's where I'm at. These things, I realize them, I see them, but I'm not a part of this game that's being played. This game is being played out by these individuals, and I see it, I hear it, but to me, it's comedy. It's not.
Okay, Aaron, can I ask you, and that was, by the way, I'm incredibly happy and proud that we are the platform that you get a chance to speak for yourself on, by the way. So, hey, Thank you, Aaron.
Love you, Aaron. Love you.
Excuse me. So sorry to interrupt. Hey! Did you know at the age of 30, your testosterone levels start dropping 1% per year? Wow! That means you're gonna get fatter, more tired, and lose the strength that you once had. But no worries, our friends at Roman have the perfect product for you. So you can get back to banging weights, banging humans, and living your best life. $15 off right now. Get Roman.com/USA. Back to the action. Hey! This makes me think, though, and by the way, you are everything that happens in your life is chatted about by everybody, which I think is obviously an incredible gift because you've had this opportunity to have this career that you've had, and being the MVP of the NFL, people are naturally going to speak about you. And then obviously it's a curse when everything that you do is put under a spotlight. And I think you've understood that that is your life for some time. And I appreciate the fact that we're getting to know a little bit more about you. Did you think that it was more a negative response to the "I still own you" thing? Because I'm going to be honest, maybe I just have too many blinders on. Everybody I saw loved it. I mean, Chicago isn't going to love it, but everybody, like, I don't know if you heard Darius Butler came on yesterday. And he was like, to see a quarterback act like that is awesome, because normally quarterbacks are always the right answer, and I think this is what you're referring to. Always in cliches, always working hard, always this, and as soon as you step out of line a little bit, I could see there being a little bit of negativity, but at this point, wasn't everybody on your side, or was there people actually attacking you in this particular world?
Well, I don't know about attacking. I mean, Tom sends me choice articles from time to time about what is being said about certain things. I mean, my teammates and the organization, I think, really loved it. I think most Packer fans enjoyed it as well.
Hey, we loved it. Hey, we loved it. Zito?
No, hated it.
Oh, okay, see, it's from Chicago. He was supposed to hate it. He was supposed to.
I saw Olin Kreutz said he wanted to punch me in the face. Look, I think that is to say, and I don't know Olin, and I respect him. He played in the league for a long time, but are we getting that soft as a society that we can't have worth now? I mean, you know, somebody can pay for a ticket and say whatever the hell they want, which I think they should be able to. That's fine. But the one time you say something back to them, that gets caught on it, that gets caught on hot mic, which, you know, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that gets said from time to time. Now it's that, you know, I've disrespected, you know, an entire city and organization and my own organization.
Well, and Justin Fields, you said Justin Fields stinks whenever you told Chicago that you owned him or whatever. You're an asshole. I guess I did see this. I'm sorry. I'm just now realizing that you were a terrible person for it, although in my house and in where we are, like, that's the coolest thing we've seen in some time. I said it was going to go down as something to talk about, people talk about forever, as well. Like Randy Moss. Okay, the TO with the autograph, the ball, and you telling a city that you own them when you're 22-5 against them, fucking some of the greatest competitive trash talk in the history of trash talk.
Well, back when I first got in the league and when I grew up watching it, I feel like trash talk was a little more normalized, and you didn't have to, you know, apologize if you said something that offended, you know, a few people in a city. And, you know, like I said, I mean, I have a lot of respect for the city and for the sports fans. It's been a great rivalry over the years.
Thank you.
But we have gotten the better of them for a while now. I mean, I don't think I was saying anything that wasn't necessarily close to the truth. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But let me just clear up one thing as well that you were talking about. Like, I'm so fortunate for this platform, especially this one, to be on here talking with you guys. Like, it means a lot to me because I think people get to see me in a little bit of a different light. You know, that I'm not a repeating robot, cliche-ridden leader of a franchise. I actually have a personality and thoughts and opinions that I think align with most people. But I'm not a victim either. I'm not a victim. I don't look at myself as a victim, or I don't want people to feel bad for me because of the spotlight that I'm in and the platform that I have and the scrutiny that comes with it. I accept all of it. I really do. I don't have a problem with it. I just think that it is, for me, helps me to keep sane when I can recognize and point out that there is this culture that exists that gets off, I think, on shrinking people, keeping them small, keeping them in a box, quieting them through cancelization or demeaning comments, and that I also exist outside of that in a different realm where I do feel confident in things I say, and I do stand behind what I do, and I like to speak the truth, and I'm not a part of this woke cancel culture that gets off on trying to silence people all the time.
You said you are like you're above the game, or you see it, you understand it's out there, but it doesn't really affect your day to day or anything going on in your life. Have you always been like that, or did you feel like earlier in your career was there ever times where you like, oh man, I'm paying too much attention, good or bad, to what's going on around me?
Well, I mean, Age, you've known me for a long time, and I've always been, more of a private person. I just felt like that was the best way to handle business issues in my own family, relational things, issues with the organization. I just, it's kind of been my way of doing things. And when you do that, sometimes you allow this narrative to kind of run wild. I mean, it wasn't the same 15 years ago, but in today's day and age, it's better to write an article that has a catchy, tagline than to, get some sort of response from both sides. So that's why I enjoy this show, because it allows me to actually set the record straight on some of these things. And I don't think when I was younger, I just enjoyed my privacy and I wouldn't respond to certain things I didn't want to, because I believed in keeping my relationships private and having like sacred spaces of energy for those those type of relationships. Now I still believe in having a good balance and separation, but I'm not afraid to rewrite these false narratives that are out there. That gives me the opportunity or the power to take back some of those narratives that were false when they were written and continue to be false if they're propagated at this point.
Well, and I think that was kind of I don't want to say the basis for why Aaron Rodgers Tuesday started, but in the Bahamas, we had like a 14-hour rain delay, and we're just sitting there. Ty drank all of the Jack, I think, that the entire golf course had. I might have had all of the beer, but we were sitting down just chit-chatting, and I didn't know much about you at that point. All I had known as basically what I heard and what I'd seen from you on the internet and what you played football and what teammates had said about you that maybe came to the Colts and chit-chatted. But as we chatted there for, I don't know, it felt like a couple hours, at the end of it, I was like, man, nobody knows any of this shit about you. And the reason why I know that is because I don't know any of this shit about you, and I feel like this could potentially be a cool thing. And that was when you said, I've just always decided to kill him with indifference or whatever. So I'm very thankful that as you've kind of got to a point in your life where you can say like, no, there's some bullshit that has been said about me. That's a big deal, Aaron. Hey, That's a big step. Look at us, we're taking big time fucking steps around here. You are the universe, dude.
I saw what you posted earlier. I'm assuming you didn't read it, and neither did any of the guys, but I'm thankful for the notes that they get passed along to you, and I hope at some point you or your lovely wife can spend some time reading that and learn. But there's a reason that it's number 6 in the list. It's because I think the other ones you should maybe start with those, and actually book number 7 is an easy read as well, and I look forward to you reading at some point.
Okay, well, I can't wait for book number 7 here for the Aaron Rodgers book club. But I'll tell you,
Bears.
What do you? Hey, Berenstain Bears would be dope. How about a coloring book too, huh? Just like a bye week. You know what I mean? It's like a bye week. Like maybe I don't know, something to think about. It's your book club. Okay, it's not ours. I'm just throwing out ideas here. What do you think? No, we won't get to the book club yet. I got a question on how you think Einstein would align with Ram Dass. I mean, now that you've kind of put both of these things into the world with this book club, but let's continue to talk about you playing the football at a very high level. And we'll kind of put a bow on this entire Chicago conversation. The fact that it's still a real rivalry is cool to me. Like, I think that is very cool to me. I don't know how often that happens in the NFL. I know there's divisional rivals and everything like that, but as players come and go, they're not as tied to the rivalry as maybe in college you would be, because you're there for 4 or 5 years and you kind of know, and it's bought in. The fact that the Packers and the Bears are a rivalry still, I think, is amazing. And I don't know if you're a big part of upholding that, because he told us that Big Mike would show videos of all these highlight hits between the Bears and the Packers over the years. But when you said and got to the point of ownership over Chicago, that is something like I think you took real, like you take that to heart, like that the Packers are better than the Bears over your tenure and over Favre's. And then you were asked afterwards if this was potentially going to be the last time you get to do this to Chicago as a Packer in this rivalry. And I think you said something about you're not so sure that this is the last one. Have you thought about long-term in this world? And I know you're very much a be present, be in there, but whenever you said you weren't sure if this was going to be the last one, or you don't think that's going to be the case, you alluded to basically like you being in Chicago and potentially landlording them again. But have you had a chance to think about your future and what the world is? Because outside, the conversation is very loud from every single city that thinks they potentially will get Aaron Rodgers.
To be frank, before the game, I was thinking about how many times we've been in that locker room, and that was my 18th time in the locker room, my 15th time, 14th time starting against them at Soldier Field, and anybody who's been in that locker room knows it's one of the smaller locker rooms in the NFL. I'm always tucked kind of back in the left in the same spot next to Mace, and a lot of times the hot water doesn't work. It's just like one of those, and it's just one of those things. The hot water, by the way, was working after the game, so big thank you.
Way to go, Chicago.
A couple times it hasn't been over the years. Maybe that's because the pipes are just so goddamn frozen because of the cold weather we played in. But I was wondering what it would feel like to walk off the field, and in that moment, if it would feel like it was going to be my last time or not. And so I was generally looking forward to what that felt like. And the way I felt walking off the field was why I answered the question the way I answered it. It didn't feel like the last time. For whatever reason. I'm not sure why necessarily, but energetically it didn't feel like it was the last time walking off that field. It was a special feeling again to win at that place, to win by double digits, an important game for us. But also to talk about how special the rivalry is, I did mention that to Justin after the game. I got a chance to meet him and talk about how much I've admired watching him play so far in his young career. But also told him how special the rivalry is, and just to embrace it, and that I hope he gets, many, many, many years of enjoying this rivalry, because it is one of those special things. And I think for whatever reason, some of that rivalry may have, luster might wane from year to year, but it doesn't wane for the fans, not at all. It doesn't wane for those of us who love the history of the NFL and the history of rivalries like this. It's always going to be special. I've obviously played in more of them than anybody on our squad, and there's been some amazing victories, some tough losses as well. Thankfully, more of those victories. But there's been some iconic players who've played in this rivalry for the last, 100 years. Most of the names you think about are in the, got a yellow jacket. They're in the Hall of Fame. And you look around at our stadium at the names in the bowl, and look on their stadium. There's some of the people who made the league what the league is played in that Bears-Packers rivalry, and it's fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch it unfold, the I Own You thing. I think that's why it was so big, because their fans are so passionate about it. You're still passionate about it in a world where it seems like being passionate about something like that might not be something that most people are doing anymore. So I think it's incredibly cool. Let's talk about the team that you have, winning by 20 or something. Hey, your squad's getting hot. You guys look like the Packers last year at the end of the season. Now, obviously, not the end of the season, but you know what I'm talking about. It feels like the team's really hitting a groove, and we're about to get some players healthy as well. You guys have to be feeling great about everything.
Yeah, we're feeling good about things. We need to get healthy, though. We have a lot of guys banged up. A lot of guys that we counted on being in the season to play, big time snaps for us haven't played. So we've had to rely on a lot of backups and third stringers, but those backups and third stringers, when they play on the field, they're starters. And there's an expectation when you get on the field of your performance. And I'm really proud of those guys, the way they played. Proud of guys like Lucas Patrick, came in early in that game, started a game earlier in the season, been an interior backup for us, and played fantastic. Proud of John Runyon, proud of Yash Nishman, proud of Royce Newman, our rookie. Proud of maybe the unsung hero of the offensive line, Billy Turner. Billy Turner needs to get consideration for the Pro Bowl. I know we're only six games in, but he has played outstanding. Yeah, he really has. He is a master of his craft. Nobody works harder at his craft than Billy does. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of Elton for coming back from his injury and playing left tackle for us. Not sure what Dave's status is going to be, but we're all excited. He's expecting some sort of parade or, shenanigans for him returning to practice this week. We'll see what we have in store for him, but we got to get healthy, that's for sure. But to be 5-1 with the injuries that we had during the season and the schedule that we had is great. You look at our schedule moving forward, we have a tough stretch. We play a Washington team who's going to be in need of a victory, a short week against Arizona, and a longer week at Kansas City. So that's what's in front of us in the next three, and we're going to have to get healthy and play some of our best football.
A two-part question for me. First, what's it like with LaFleur? I joked earlier about how you come off the field and like to beat each other up when you get excited. It seems like your relationship is growing and growing. Is he throwing little jabs in your helmet at you, like in the speaker at times, like when you guys go back and forth? I know you have a weird sense of humor. And also, when you're on IR, like, do you usually run solo 2-minute drills?
Bro, he broke a huddle, Aaron. He broke a huddle, dude. Have it. It was awesome.
You know what? I'm not even going to touch that one. I think it's already been commented on enough.
Why don't you visualize a little bit, Aaron? It might be better. You ever think about it?
You're above the game.
I will say that one of my favorite comments was from TJ Lang. If you saw what TJ posted, something about this is what passion looks like, and tagged me on it. And I can only imagine how many people thought he was being serious. I think I could speak for TJ and say he wasn't.
No, wow.
But to answer your question, Matt and I are great. It's a fun relationship because he's definitely wound a little tighter than I am. So there's multiple times where I like to mess with him on the field, act like I can't hear what he's saying, and tap my helmet, and then watch him start to a little bit kind of freak out. Just a little bit. Is he pressing the button down right? Is it off? Is he yelling? Does he yell at the sound guy? The audio guy? And then I look over and laugh and kind of wave or something. But what often happens, and happened in the game on Sunday, was there'll be a time and he'll tell me to play, and then I might have been in a conversation with somebody in the huddle and not gotten it. And then I'll kind of get one of these, hey, one more time, please. And they'll tell me to play again. And then they'll tell me maybe a coaching point that he wants to make sure I remember. And then he'll tell me to play again. And it'll kind of draw on like this. And it was during a TV timeout or the 2-minute warning or something. And it was before that. It was during a TV timeout. I looked over and I was like, hey, I got it, man. And you can see him go, okay, oh, yeah, you're right. Too much. But that's what I love about Matt, because he cares about it so much. And that's why you have to have that balance of him and Hackett. Hackett being definitely more laid back, and him being wound more tight, and how they work together. And then play caller to quarterback, him being wound really tight, and me, being less wound tight. And us, we have a good back and forth about it. I tease him, and I think he might have heard this comment. Someone might have told him about the show, but Matt is a close hugger. Like, he loves the close hug, and then almost you're kind of like side face to side face sometimes,
like Jerry and his kid.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned it on this show, and so this week, I don't know if it was planned or not, but right after the anthem, I kind of dap up Devontae, and then Randall, who always stands next to me, and then Matty's always waiting there with his his hand up, waiting for big high five. And he it was more bro hug. It wasn't like the close hug, look at you kind of thing. So hey, look, man, he's growing, he's progressing, and I love it.
Yeah, your relationship has been awesome to watch. I love that two-parter from AJ Journalism. I have one. It was great, by the way. It was great. I can't believe we didn't get anything out of him on the Russ I can't believe it. One note that I took here, too quick. This is a two-parter. You held a play action. Awesome. You ought to play action. I feel like that used to be a part of the game more. You hit that thing behind your hip, though, on the completion to Big Dog. Why does that not happen every single time? And is that something you take a lot of pride in? Because you held that, and I assume there's a chance you get blasted there on the other side. It turns into a big play with. Do you always do that? And Big Dog seemed to have a big-time weekend, and the commentators talked about how the entire sideline loses their shit when Mercedes makes a big play.
But that's for sure happens. The screen that he caught against Cincy and made a guy miss, kind of ran into a guy. That guy fell down and kept on going, hit a guy on the sidelines. The whole sideline was just going nuts. And that's just because everybody loves Big Dog so much. And he contributes so much and it doesn't often show up in the stat sheet. So when it does, it's a big deal. But as far as that fake, I got to give credit to the man that taught me that fake, and that's none other than Alex Van Pelt. Played in the NFL, long time quarterback coach for me. Now he's coaching in Cleveland. Great human and really good teacher of the fundamentals of the quarterback position. But that's what he used to call the guitar fake. And we even used to watch film of him at Pitt when he was in college doing some of his fakes. And to be honest, I loved it. I loved adding kind of that element to my game. But so you just kind of let the hand go and you put the hand down on the notch and hide it down there. It takes a lot of trust because, yeah, you can get totally rocked there if a guy just screamed upfield and drilled you. But the fake is usually pretty damn good. And as far as the action, because you're really sticking the ball in, letting the hand go, taking the eyes back to it, and skipping out of it. It's not one we do a whole lot. We might do it once every 2 or 3 games, but it was helped by the fact that we ran power, or par, as they say in Pittsburgh.
Power Donner. You're on Power Donner.
We ran power pretty effectively 3 or 4 times, and then we ran the fake off of the power. But big shout out to another Pittsburgh guy, Alex Van Pelt.
Yeah, shout out. And I can already see the news. Aaron Rodgers watched film of the University of Pittsburgh Panthers to work on his game, and he said power game was a big deal. I mean, that is going to be blistered all over Pittsburgh, but that's everything you do in your life. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Aaron, Sunday was awesome. Always a pleasure getting to watch you work in person. Listen, I don't want you to shit on the refs, but they were terrible on Sunday, and I think it was after you threw the touchdown to EQ. You were pleading your case out there. One guy called it OPI, one called it incomplete. One called it a touchdown. Is that the kind of thing where, like, after the game, ultimately it didn't matter, you guys won, but will you go talk to the refs and be like, hey, this kind of stuff can't happen, or does it kind of die when you're done talking to them?
Well, first of all, Ty, great to have you in the house.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Really glad you got to be there. Appreciate you being there, and I'm sure you had as much fun or more than we did playing that game. But I will say this, the referees, again, they have a really tough job. They have a really, really tough job. They have to make split-second decisions, objective calls and subjective calls. And those lines are blurred even more by certain plays in general, especially the interior line stuff is so difficult. So they have a really tough job to do. And the scrutiny on them, because we have so many cameras on our field and slow motion capabilities, is at an all-time high. So they have a really tough job to do. In that situation, from my vantage point, it looked like illegal contact. And if you watch it back, EQ's running an out and up from the slot, and for sure there's illegal contact on the goal line. Then I throw maybe my best throw of the day, and he comes down with an incredible catch, a guy who was released from the team, signed back to the practice squad, thankfully, and has been such a great part of what we're doing and unselfish guy. My question was, first, how in the hell is that OPI? Because it didn't look like it, and then when you watch the replay back, there's no way it was. My second was, I've known the back judge for a long time, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I just want to know what he saw, because he said he didn't make the penalty, and he actually said he didn't get his feet down. So that was what I wasn't over there yelling about an OPI. I wanted to ask him what he saw. He didn't think EQ got his feet down, and so that was enough for me to move forward. Like, they're going to make mistakes from time to time, and I think they have a really tough job to do. We all want them to be perfect. That's not realistic. We have measures in place to help them from time to time, but it is a really tough job to do.
It is very tough, and they are exercising that freedom and excuse a bit much, I think, at the moment. But hopefully they'll get it all figured out. I don't know who called you there. Hopefully it wasn't Roger Goodell telling you to stop talking about the refs. I think you painted a great picture there, because now it is time. It is something I look forward to every single week, Aaron. This is something that I never thought as a 34-year-old that this is something that I would be looking forward to, especially with the life that I lived. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for the 7th installment of the biggest, baddest book club on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another reveal of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club. Drum roll, please. At first, it was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, the Brazilian author with over 16 million followers on Twitter. Put on a cheese head and said, Aaron, I appreciate you. Then it was Where Men Win Glory with Pat Tillman's story. It was amazing. Then The Giver, Be Here Now, The Four Agreements, You Are the Universe was a bit dense, but the people cannot wait for week 7 of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club, which will be
none other than The Art of War.
Oh, Shin Tzu! Sun Tzu!
Sun Tzu, yeah. It's I don't know, you almost, if I didn't know your history, I would guess you've actually read it by your excitement, but it's a book that I think most great leaders have read at some point. It's been around obviously for millennia. But yeah, it's a great one. I think it's an easy read, a lot of great wisdom in here and one-liners that you can use in your life and in press conferences down the road as well. And in speeches to your team when you're trying to fire up the boys, or AJ when you're trying to fire up Hendrix's flag football team. Definitely some good stuff in there. So The Art of War, I've been sitting on this one because it's such a special book, and it's been read by millions and millions of people around the world, maybe billions.
Oh, man.
But it's definitely one that every great leader or person striving to lead men and women should read at some point.
I appreciate and respect the book choice. I learned of it when Rick Ross used it as a bar, and I looked into it. Hey, you got to be where they don't think you're going to be, okay? Appear strong when weak, appear weak when strong. Go ahead and do your thing if you're going to be in the Art of War. I cannot wait to dive back into that book. Thank you for having others do it. I think we're all becoming better people through the book club. We're becoming better readers through the book club, and I think we're becoming better thinkers. And that's what it's all about here, Aaron, isn't it? Isn't that what Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is all about?
Yeah, ultimately, but you just got to be here now. And I'm thankful we get to be here now every Tuesday.
Hey, no matter when we get to wherever we're going, and no matter when we were where we were at one time, we're always one thing. What's that? Right here.
That's right.
Let's enjoy this. I enjoy every Tuesday. Is it Tuesday yet? I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that the man who's the reigning MVP. Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Is this how we're doing it?
My sign. All right, Pat. See you, buddy.
No! Wait, I thought we were playing a song. That son of a bitch. Shit. Hey, Art of War, dude. You got to be deceptive.
That's right.
You ever read that, AJ? I'm sure you have, actually.
Yeah, a while back. He's going to really throw you for a loop. Next week, there's a book called The War of Art as well. That would really put your brain in a pretzel.
Yeah, I assume it would. There's a lot of things that put my brain in a pretzel, including the fact that we get to have that conversation every single week with Aaron.